All right, so the Fuji X100VI has been literally by my side for the past like 7 or 8 months, and I use it literally every single day. It's around my neck, and for something that you carry with you every single day, you're gonna customize it a bit and make it uniquely your own. So that's what I've been doing. I've been buying tons of accessories and testing them out and trying them, sending some back, and really trying to fine tune this camera to work uniquely for me. So in my last accessory video, I had about 20 accessories that were worth checking out and trying, and now I have another 15 accessories that I found all through Amazon in various places, and I think I've kind of maxed out like the market for Fujifilm X100VI accessories that are worth checking out. But yeah, let's get right into it with my first accessory, this camera strap. This is my Kodak camera strap, and I love this so much that I bought it twice in 2 colors. So I have it in black and also this cool like army green. I use it not only for my X100VI, but also for my GFX50R, and there are a couple reasons that really made this camera strap stand out to me, and that's its quick release system. They're all metal and super secure, so unlike Peak Design, they're not plastic, they're not gonna warp, they're not gonna melt, they're not gonna wear down really over time. They have these cool ball bearing joints inside that securely snap it in place. If it's able to hold the Minicon 65 and also my GFX50R around my neck without snapping, it can definitely hold your X100VI, and also of course it holds mine as well. And then also the other cool thing about this is the fact that there is a junction point or like a connecting ring halfway down the camera strap, so that way you can actually use it in the sling mode. So you can have it traditionally around your neck, you can have it crossbody, but then also you can put it into like a sling mode, so that way you can have it, you know, dangle off of one arm, or just have it, you know, if you have only access to one eyelet, or you want access to one eyelet because you have a rangefinder style camera and you need that left side of the camera to be free for your eye to go up to. You don't have to worry about fiddling with straps. You can just put it in sling mode and have it, you know, ready for quick access, pull it up, take a picture, put it down. And that's the main reason that I've been using this camera strap over all the others, is because of that versatility and how you can wear it and how you can, you know, connect it. Next up is this JJC grip. Now I actually found this by following Mighty Killers, or Mighty Kill, on Instagram and, you know, Threads. And he makes a ton of cool accessories that I haven't tried out yet that I want to one day. He makes a lot of camera ropes and everything, but one thing that caught my eye when watching a lot of not his videos but looking at his photos was his JJC grip. It's very minimal, it's all metal. It has a texture grip on there, and it's not a super big protruding grip like the Tilta one that I had from the vintage rig that I built in the last video. It's not a super deep grip, which is kind of nice, so it kind of goes with the form factor of the X100. It's not too bulky, but the other cool thing about this grip is that there is another connection point, or another like eyelet loop on the bottom of the camera, so you can actually have it in a vertical orientation on your camera strap. So when you pull it up, you can have 2 straps still, but when you pull it up, that viewfinder is still free for you to take your photo and put it back down. So you can have it, your Kodak strap in your sling mode or around your neck, however you want to put it. But when you pull the camera up, you're not having to worry about fighting with the straps to take a photo in portrait or landscape mode on a rangefinder style camera. And that's where this grip really kind of stands out to me, and why I use it, so much, especially when I use it with this camera strap. It does also have like an Arca Swiss bottom, so if you have, tripods or any other accessories that use Arca Swiss, you could just, not have to use a plate. It's all built into the grip itself, and it doesn't add too much weight. It does make it a little bit taller because it does have that Arca Swiss plate on the bottom. But yeah, this grip is super minimal, super clean, and I just like using it for specifically that extra eyelet on the bottom right corner of the camera. Next up is an accessory that we all use. Everyone has a version of this, but this is probably like the coolest version of it that I've ever found online, and this is the Polar Pro Slate media case. This configuration is actually for CF Express Type A, but you can do Type B, you can do just SD cards, and there's also micro SD card slots on the bottom of it as well, so you can have more micro SDs in there. And all of these little little inserts here for the plates are actually removable. You can pop them out and swap them out with other types of media. So say for instance you get a new camera in the future, or if I get a new camera and it doesn't have CF Express Type A media, I can actually just swap out this insert, get some other inserts from Polar Pro, and let's say I need Type B or XQD or whatever media type out there that I need, I can swap it out and still use it pretty seamlessly with this media case. The other dope thing about this case is how it closes up. So it is watertight, so you can actually slide it in like this. It's all metal, if you can't tell from the audio. It has like a rubber gasket on here, and you tighten it down like a flask. So it's super secure, it's watertight, it's super durable. If you drop it, you don't have to worry about, damaging your media. It might damage whatever it drops on, but so far I've probably dropped it a couple times. I don't have any scratches or anything on this. I got it in the cool bronze color. I want to say it also comes in like black or green. But yeah, I think this was probably the one that was shipping the fastest, which is why I picked this color. But yeah, this is the best media case that I have ever found online. And there are some, you know, super cheap ones out there from Amazon. You can go a lot of the best sellers on Amazon. They're super cheap. I have a couple from, the reason why I bought this actually is because I had a couple from Small Rig, and they're all plastic, and the latch that closed actually ended up breaking on me. So I got this because it's super durable, it's minimal. I love the system for pulling it out and putting it back in. It's watertight, my media's safe, and I don't have to worry about this thing breaking on me. So yeah, Polar Pro makes expensive stuff, but their stuff is worthy of that price tag because it is very durable and premium in quality. But this is probably the most premium media storage case that you'll find online, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it. I've used it for almost a year now, so go and pick one up. Now this next accessory is the opposite of premium. It's actually this little cheapy silicone case that I found on Amazon, and I mainly ordered this just to see what it would be like to have this on my X100VI. So if you want to instantly make your X100VI look like a cheap disposable camera, throw this on there. And it's, I don't even know if something I could recommend. I could probably recommend it for certain use cases. I'm trying to think of who would actually benefit from using this thing. But if you're super paranoid about, you know, your camera having a patina over time or scratching, or, you know, you set it on hard surfaces, or you want to be able to set it on hard surfaces, the silicone case is definitely going to protect your camera 360 degrees from all kind of scratches and debris that can get in there and scratch it. It's not, you know, airtight or anything, so dust and rocks and stuff can still get in. But like I said, if you're setting it down, or if you're worried about nicking it against something, this is definitely going to cover the entire camera. It is kind of a lint magnet, so keep that in mind. It's just cheap silicone, so it's going to attract lint and dust and everything like that. But if you want a glove on your camera, this is probably your best bet, and it's super cheap. This next accessory is from a company, I think it's called Lano or Iano, I don't know. The cool thing about this is that there actually is a built-in display, so you can see the exact charge percentage on the batteries. It also has these cool little like SD card slots on there too, so if you need something to hold your SD cards, if you don't want to get the super cool slate media case, you can actually just put a couple SD cards inside of your battery case as well. But yeah, they charge pretty fast. If you charge one at a time, it'll of course charge it faster, but if you split it up into 2 batteries in there, it'll charge it a little bit slower. But from what I've noticed, it charges pretty quick, and I have no complaints. Normally when I charge batteries, it's overnight anyway, but this is a cool little case. It uses USB-C, and you can actually, take it with you on the go. It's a bit more portable than just having your batteries, flying around the bottom of your bag. You can actually put them in this case. They're secure. You can see how much juice they have on the outside of it, and yeah, it charges your batteries. And what more can you really ask for? Now I have a ton of lens hoods for the X100VI. I covered a few of them in the previous video, and I have even more so now. I actually found another lens hood from Hogue that I really enjoy, and it's the only reason that I wanted to get this lens hood is because the new GFX 100 RF has a square lens hood, and I was like, man, I need to find something that I like the way that looks. I wonder if I could find a lens hood that looks like that for the X100VI, and I did. It's from Hogue. They make all of the cool lens hoods for all your X100VI needs. It's 100% for vanity. Like, there's no reason to get this. Only, of course, to block the sun. It's a sun hood, so it does come in handy there, which is definitely necessary for the X100VI because the lens is super shallow. It has no type of lip on there blocking any kind of sun. So you definitely need a lens hood if you're shooting with harsh sun all the way around you. Yeah, I got this mainly for vanity. I already have lens hoods, but I decided to get this one because I like the shape of it, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. So yeah, it's obviously a pretty accessory, and it does have some functionality for blocking the sun. But if you wanted another lens head option, this is one of them. And you can also still use filters attached to this as well. It comes with a filter ring, so you put your filter on that and then you screw the lens head over top of the filter. I normally use the gold mist or the black mist, or even a haze, or a glimmer glass filter. This next lens hood actually was sent to me, and it was an error because I ordered the black one, but they sent me a blue one. They also have, I think, orange or red. And it's like a lens hood that has a UV filter built in, and it adds a little bit of chunkiness to the front of it, to the front of the X100VI. It's a pretty thick filter, but if you wanted to spice up the look of your X100VI, like I know a lot of people like those Ricoh GR cameras, and they have like those customizable rings that you can swap out. There's like metal ones, different color ones, so, to personalize your camera. And this is probably the equivalent of that for the X100VI, so that way you can actually screw on any other type of cover or color on there to kind of like spice up your camera. but then also have a UV filter built in and making it, you know, water resistant. So that way you can, you know, still have that water resistance, but have a little bit of flare to it as well. Outside of that, there's really, I mean, there is the benefit of having it block the sun so that we can, it's a lens hood. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, mostly this is just vanity's sake. If you want something to give a little pop of color, this is like their teal blue kind of color. Once again, I didn't want this color. They sent it to me on accident. I ordered the black one because I enjoy accessories that add a little bit of contrast to my rig or my build. And I like the black with the silver and black body, but maybe I'll return this teal. I'll definitely return this teal one and try to get a black one. Now this next lens hood is from Freewell, and it's probably like the most game-changing lens hood that is in existence right now outside of the Polar Pro like mag flips. So I always use an everyday filter. With 99% of my photos are taken with the everyday filter. But the issue is you can't have a lens hood and still adjust your circular polarizer. So Freewell actually reached out to me, and before they reached out to me, I actually found this on Amazon. I was gonna buy it anyway, but they actually sent me this and a couple other accessories we'll talk about in a minute, but this video isn't sponsored. They don't have no idea I'm even making this video right now. I just like this lens hood, and I figured a lot of people would, because I get a lot of questions on if you can use your everyday filter with this lens hood or that lens hood. And this is their filter lens hood. So this is dope because it does give you that cool like Leica lens hood on there. It is pretty thick, definitely gonna double the size of your lens, but you actually are able to insert a filter inside of here, and it has this cool like lever system along the side, the left side of the camera, so that way you can actually move it back and forth and adjust the polarizer, so that way you can knock out your reflections, and yeah, use your everyday filter with, you know, a polarizer on there, which is pretty amazing, and still have, you know, the light being blocked from the lens hood, and also you have the added functionality of the filter. But now, yeah, this is probably one of the, this is definitely the most useful lens hood that I own. A lot of the other ones are just purely for aesthetics. This one actually looks decent. I like this design of the lens hood, but I also love the fact that I can still use my everyday filter in conjunction with the lens hood. The only other lens hood out there that does what this does is the mag flip from Polar Pro. And you know, I haven't used it personally. Maybe if I do use the mag flip, I'll change my mind on it, but I can't think of a situation where I would want to flip down my lens hood, adjust the CPL and flip it back up and hope that the moment's still there to capture. Or it's just the process of having to flip it down and then adjust it and flip it back up. I don't know, that's just something that I'm definitely not into. But this is definitely a much better application of that same use case. If you need to use your polarizer, you just have this lever, turn it, you know, to the top or bottom in the middle, just adjust it as you need it. It's all metal construction, there's no plastic. It feels solid and confident when you're going through. It does feel also a little bit dampened. There's a little bit of resistance on here, which is good because you don't want it just to flop back and forth. You need some resistance to be able to hold the filter in the right position. And if you can see here, there's no drag or drop to it. It's staying right where I put it. There's minimal branding. There's only like one logo, the Freewell logo on the actual lever, which is something I love. I'm not into, you know, lots of brands and logos all on my camera. So yeah, this lens hood is super dope if you're looking to use a polarizer like your everyday filter with your X100VI. This is the only lens filter that I would recommend, to be honest with you. Next up are two converters that Freewell actually sent me, the teleconverter and the wide angle converter. The wide gives you like a 0.75 X crop, so not crop, but the other way around. So it's like a 26mm equivalent on the X100VI, going from 35mm down to 26mm, which gives you a nice wide field of view. And you can also unscrew the top lens and actually have a macro lens, so you can get really close and take macro photos. To be 100% honest, I haven't used either of these filters a ton. The other filter is a teleconverter filter. I do notice that with the teleconverter, you get, or with one of them, I think it's the teleconverter. With the teleconverter, you get some crazy vignette when you're shooting like at the wider focal length. So you have to punch in order to get rid of that vignette. I haven't used the first party Fujifilm converters or or any of those, so I can't really comment on the quality difference. I will say that the converters from Freewell, I mean, the images look decent. I can't really justify using the teleconverter because of the vignette, and I don't want to crop into my image and have like, you know, a 15 megapixel image. I want, you know, full 40 megapixels, and if I do crop in, I want, you know, I want it to be sharp. You know, I don't want to have to deal with the vignette. To be honest, I don't know if the Fujifilm first party teleconverter also has a vignette. Maybe that's something that you can't really get away from with teleconverters on this camera. But a lot of times I'm not I'm not using these at all. If I do use it, I would recommend the wide converter, because having a wider field of view sometimes is nice, especially if you're taking like group photos, if you're, on, amusement parks or close quarters. You want that wide view. If you're going to a concert, you want the wide view. I think that's dope. I also think the added functionality of having two-in-one capability of unscrewing that and using it for macro photography is pretty cool. But yeah, I would recommend probably the wide, not necessarily the teleconverter. But I also do want to get my hands on the first party converters from Fujifilm. Let me know if you guys want to see that video, maybe a comparison between the Freewell adapters and also the Fujifilm ones to see what's better. But yeah, these are two other converters they sent me, and I figured I'd talk about them because they are kind of cool and a nice cheaper alternative to the first party ones, because the first party ones are like between $200 and $300 and these are much cheaper. So yeah, Freewell, thank you. Next up, we have a leather half case. Now, I did cover one from Bitable in my last video, but for some reason, like many other Amazon sellers out there, they kind of went MIA and they don't offer any accessories on their page anymore. So this one's actually from a company called, I think, Missouri is how you pronounce it. But they're the exact same leather cases that Bitable offers. I'm assuming they're probably made in the same factory, wherever it is. The same, spec. All your ports are available. It has a cutout for your speaker on the bottom. Your battery tray is accessible, so you can pop it in and out. The leather quality is superb. It feels nice. I got it here in black. And it's another option if you wanted to have a different color. And also I figured I'd give you guys another option since Bitable doesn't exist anymore on Amazon. So I actually figured I'd give you guys another suitable option that has the same level of quality. But yeah, I have the brown one from Bitable and also have the black one from Missouri, or Mizuru, and they're both super nice. And I get, like I said, a lot of compliments on just the X100VI in general, but when you pair a leather half case to it, it gives it that nice vintage look, and also, of course, you'll have a nice patina over time. The leather is soft and supple and has a good grip to it. It feels porous, which is nice, so it's not cheap like leather. At least it doesn't feel like cheap leather. Maybe it is imitation leather, but it just feels really good. And it's sturdy, and yeah, I love this half case, and I love half cases in general. If you want to get another option, here's one. These next couple of accessories are ones that don't attach to your camera, but I've been using one of them for quite a while now, and they're both printers, and one's from Fujifilm and one's from Kodak. Well, one's a printer and a camera, but let's talk about it. So the Fujifilm one is the Instax Wide, and the wide is pretty cool. You can still, of course, print out portrait photos. You just have to turn the print sideways, but the wide is cool if you want to have, like those cool landscape photos. And also it's much faster than my other printer, which is the Kodak camera printer that I actually made a short about some months back. But the technique is completely different on both of them. The Fujifilm one is more like Polaroids. So you print it out, the image isn't there yet, and it takes, a few minutes to develop, and you start seeing the image come alive on the actual Polaroid, which is nice. And also it prints out super fast, which is one of the benefits of Polaroid even back in the day. Being able to just pop the picture, pop the photo, have the picture right in your hand, phenomenal. The Evo is super fast, the connectivity is easy, it has a cool app where you can customize different layouts and different templates, which is kind of cool. But then on the other hand, I have the Kodak camera, two-in-one printer. The camera functionality, like most of these printer slash camera, instant photo kind of things, is pretty trash. The same can be said for a lot of the Instax stuff. The camera quality itself is not good. I'd much rather recommend doing what I do with it, is just taking photos on your X100VI or even your phone and printing them out, because those cameras are much better than the built-in camera. But the one thing that's cool about this Kodak camera printer is the fact that I feel like the images are a little bit sharper because of the print technique. So it's like that CMYK technique where it spits it out in red, pulls it back in, spits it out in cyan, pulls it back in, spits it out in yellow, pulls it back in, and then it does like a laminate cycle. Now this does take longer, admittedly, it takes much longer, but the end result, I feel like you get a more vibrant, contrasty image on your photo, but then also it's a little bit sharper, and it's a lot thinner. So the paper that it spits out is like paper thin, unlike Polaroid that have that like plushy kind of bottom, and it feels kind of thick. But yeah, I think these are both really cool because I feel like there's an importance to printing out your photos and having them physically in hand. If you can see behind me, some of my favorite photos are above my desk. I have photos all around my house, on my refrigerator, everywhere. printing out these memories and having them live somewhere else other than on SD cards, your camera, or your phone is very important. I feel like that kind of brings those memories and those moments to life when you can actually hold it. So a printer is something that I would definitely recommend, whether it be one of these printers or other printers out there. If you guys even get like the Canon Selfie that I was thinking about getting, I might still get that. I might check that out as well. Or other printers out there. If you go to Walgreens and print out your photos, whatever you do, just print out your photos, because I feel like it's important too. This next accessory is one that I would consider to be mandatory. This is never going to leave my camera, no matter what configuration I put the camera in, no matter what other accessories come and go. This one will stay forever. And it is this Surrounder, I think that's how you pronounce the company, Surrounder thumb grip. Now, I have a ton of thumb grips. From the previous video, you guys saw all the thumb grips that I have. I have ones from Square Hood, I have ones from Small Rig, I have ones from Tilta that came with the cage. I have some other off-brand ones, but I wanted one that locked in place, and I finally found it. Now, this thumb grip is, like I said, from a company called Surrounder on Amazon. I'll link it down below. But you can actually, it comes with a little Allen key and you lock it in place. So there's no wiggle room, there's no give. One thing I hate is when I pick up a camera and I use a thumb grip and I get that little like few millimeters of give and it like moves. It just feels cheap to me. And I hate to have a camera that's not cheap and have it feel cheap by putting cheap ass accessories on it. So I was on the hunt for not only a thumb grip that locked in place, but one that had little to no branding. Now on Amazon, you'll see this image of the thumb grip. It'll say it's for the XE5 or XE4 or whatever, but it came with no branding. I was almost like, okay, I was like, okay, if I get the thumb grip and it says XE whatever on it, it doesn't matter. It's a minimal. I could probably paint over it because I have like black acrylic paint. I was gonna paint over it, but it came with no branding, and that made my day. This is the perfect thumb grip. It doesn't really block any of the buttons. I can still have access to my scroll wheels. I still have access to the top scroll wheel, the exposure compensation. I have access to the AEL, AFL. It's the perfect length because the XE5 is a very similar, profile and footprint to the X100VI. But yeah, this thumb grip is never going anywhere. It will live on my camera for life. I actually ordered one that's very similar for my GFX50R. It's of course a lot longer, but it has the same locking mechanism, uses a little Allen key, twists in place. You never have to worry about having any give or wiggle to your thumb grip ever again. This is the one accessory that I would say definitely go ahead and buy 100%. It shouldn't even be a question. This is the type of thumb grip you need. The only other thumb grip that I found out there for the X100VI that has the locking pin is from Polar Pro. And like I said, I hate having a ton of branding on my camera. My camera is not a walking billboard. I don't want to see Polar Pro. I don't want to see Small Rig. I don't want to see Freewell. I don't want to see any branding on my camera other than Fujifilm. Other than the manufacturer of the camera, that's the only thing I want to see on there. And yeah, that's the only other locking thumb grip that I've seen online. But this one is miles better because, like I said, you don't have to worry about all that branding, and it's just perfect fit. I love it. And the final accessory on this list is actually one that I've used for literally years, probably like 10 plus years. I've used the older version of it and I have the newer version. And it's this small thumb drive sized micro SD and SD card reader from Anker. Now with this, in the occasion where I need to actually edit JPEGs or RAWs, I can actually take the SD card out of the X100VI, pop it in here, plug it into my iPad mini, my full-size iPad or my iPhone, anything with the USB-C port. You can plug it into your MacBook to edit, anything. But it's small, it's portable, it easily goes into a bag or a pocket. And say for instance, you're in a situation where you don't want to transfer wirelessly, the Bluetooth or direct Wi-Fi direct is too slow. You can actually just plug the SD card directly into your device and transfer things super fast. But yeah, I love this micro SD card, and it's something that I've used for years and I'll continue to use whenever I'm taking photos. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the video. Those are all the accessories that I found to date that really improve the ergonomics, the functionality, the overall experience when using the X100VI. Feel free to hit the links down below on the bottom. There are of course all affiliate links, and they'll take it to Amazon or wherever else. And yeah, I appreciate you guys as usual. Thank you guys for watching. Now, what's most important, now that you have your accessories, or even before you get to your accessories, go out there and take some pictures. But yeah, until next time, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.